What's going on, people? It's your boy Nando. You know what it is. It's the Pound for Pound Boxing Show. Today, very special guest. He's fighting on May 22nd, live on Channel 5 on his dad's promotion. You know who it is. It's Michael Hennessy Jr. He returns on May 22nd. Be good to get him on. Obviously, we'll talk about his dad, the promotion, his next fight, his ambitions, and just boxing in general. He'll be live from his gym. Never know. We might catch one of his stable mates. Let's see what we can do. We'll wait for Michael right now. In the meantime, guys, remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Pound for Pound Boxing Show. Twitter, P4_show. Show. Got a little bit too excited there. And our Instagram account, at The Pound for Pound Boxing Show. You make sure you subscribe, guys. Show our support. So show us some support and share our videos. Share our videos. Tell your friends. Tell your baby mothers. Tell your family. Tell your colleagues, tell everyone about us. We are the new, well, not even new, we've been around over 6 months. We're the new up-and-coming boxing channel in the UK, ready to take over, guys. So, yeah, Michael Hennessy Jr. is going to join us now. Let's see if we can get him on. He's here.
Yeah.
How you doing, champ?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, mate, not bad. Just want to say thank you for joining us today and giving us this opportunity to speak to you today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime, mate. Anytime. First of all, how's training going? I know you're at the gym right now. How's camp going?
Camp's going excellent, you know. I've had some excellent sparring for this fight, and I've been adding a few little things since the last fight, like a bit of track work and stuff. So I'm feeling fit and more than ready to put on a great performance. Amazing.
We can't wait to see that, because do you know what? How I want to ask you, how amazing is it for boxing itself that, you know, your dad's promotion, Hennessy Sport, is giving back to boxing with terrestrial TV shows? How great is that for boxing fans who out there can't afford the likes of Sky and BT itself and other channels?
It's excellent. You know, my dad's always had a thing for terrestrial TV. You know, that's where the biggest stars back in the day, that's where they were built. Yeah. And it's only right to give back to the fans and the public, because, you know, without them, we'd be nowhere. So, you know, it's a much bigger audience, and it's better for both the fans and the fighters.
No, I echo that. You know, I'm a lot older than you. And back in the 90s, I remember, you know, watching the likes of Bruno, you know, Prince Nassim, all on ITV. You know, those were the amazing days. And then, you know, obviously I'm not slating Sky and stuff. You know, money, things change. But it's great to have that back on terrestrial TV. So, you know what, the boxing fans owe a lot to your dad.
Thank you very much. I'm sure he'd be happy to hear you say that.
Obviously, you last fought in December 2020. It was on Sam Eggington's undercard as well. You fought Dale Arrowsmith. What? Tell us about your performance and what you thought about your performance.
I was very happy with my performance with the Dale Arrowsmith fight. You know, I was newly acquainted with my new trainer, Junior Saba, and it gave us an opportunity to gel and work on things for a longer period of time. And I feel like I carried those out in that fight. You know, I was getting hit a lot less. My inside game was very good. So I was catching and countering, all the stuff we were working on. Yeah, it was a great performance. The only criticism which we've been working on since is probably the holding the feet in there while I was, after I'd thrown my punches, admiring my work, which admittedly has been a bad habit of mine throughout my career. I can't lie, even my amateur career as well. So we've been, ever since that fight, we've been drilling the feet and making sure I'm not sat there to take any shots after I've got mine off, you know.
Amazing. And we look forward to seeing your next fight, how you've improved on that, everything you just told us compared to your last fight. Let's talk about your next fight. Obviously, again, on another undercard of Sam Eggington. He's going back to middleweight. He's facing a very experienced Mexican in Molina for the WBC silver middleweight title. You're facing Paul Cummings, who actually has a lot of experience. Despite having only 2 wins on his career, he's faced some big names: Harley Ben, Casey Benjamin, Jordan Dujon. Do you know much, apart from that, do you know much about this opponent and what dangers he can bring to the ring?
Well, you know, this is boxing at the end of the day. You can never overlook an opponent. But, you know, this is a learning fight for me. 6 rounds is going to be great experience. As you said, he's been in there with some, you know, great competitors. He's been around these journeymen. You know, they they know how to fight. They know how to move around the ring.
Yeah.
And it is handy because in the past I've had opponents where I haven't been able to see anything of them before on YouTube or anything. There's very limited footage and it's hard to prepare for. Whereas, you know, with Paul Cummings, he's been around the block a little bit and there's plenty to look at. So I'm very well prepared for this fight and I'm looking to put on a great performance.
We look forward to see that. I've always wanted to speak to you because I always just wanted to ask you. Obviously, me growing up, my dad had a few businesses and stuff like restaurants and so on. When I used to go there, you know, oh, it's the boss's son. You know, people act a bit different. What's it like for you? Like, when obviously it's your dad's promotion on fight night, do the fighters backstage act a little bit different with you as the boss's son, or is it just all chilled out and people forget about that?
You know, I feel like it's all chilled out. You know, the people, like, they're very respectful, which is nice. But yeah, I'm obviously with my dad's fighters in particular. It's not like I'm very close with them. They're friends. You know, I consider them. So it's like, you know, you know, I'm very close with my dad's fighters, and it's just a very friendly environment. You know, we have the crack, we have a good laugh together and stuff. But yeah, it's just very laid back. I do notice though, you know, when things are going well, I do get a lot more DMs and stuff, you know, asking about Hennessy Sports and stuff. But no, it's good.
But what's it like having your dad as a promoter? I don't know if he still is part of your training because he used to train you as well. What's it like having him as your manager, your promoter, and even trainer or ex-trainer when he was your trainer?
Yeah, you know, my dad actually trained me from the age of 11 when I first started boxing and done an excellent job, you know. But he's obviously very busy. He's a promoter and it's hard to balance the two. So I started working with Junior, who's doing an exceptional job. He was an exceptional fighter in himself. But my dad's still working in the background, you know. Junior's the main man. I'm training with Junior every day pretty much. But my dad will come along to training sessions occasionally. He always comes to spar and never misses a spar, and offers, you know, words of wisdom and little pearls of wisdom because he's been in the game for so long and he's very knowledgeable around boxing. But yeah, having my dad as my manager, promoter, and a little part of the training team, you know, we're very close. You know, he's my best friend in many ways. So
it's great.
We got a very good relationship. We're very close, and of course we bicker, but you're only going to bicker when you spend so much time with someone. So. But overall, we got an amazing relationship.
You've had some you've had some fighters in the past who are close to their dads. You know, you got Connor and Nigel. You got Chris Jr. and Chris. You had Roy Jones Jr. and his dad as well. Floyd Mayweather Jr. with, you know, Floyd Mayweather Sr. So, you know, it's great to have that bond and that understanding with each other.
Absolutely. You know, you see with all those fighters as well, they all have their little fallouts and stuff, and it's inevitable. But you know, it's tough love at the end of the day because the dads they know how tough this sport is and how dangerous it is, and they'd rather fall out with us rather than us get a bad injury in the ring or whatever, because it's life and death a lot of the time. So you've got to look past that sometimes and just realize that it's all love at the end of the day, whether they're being hard on you or not. They've got your best interests at heart.
Of course, and there's no one more you can trust than your old man. That's the thing. So, you know, whatever he says is for your best interest. You know, as much as I'm not saying every coach, but you just never know, even if you've known them all your life, but that's your dad at the end of the day. So, you know, it's the best thing. That's,
that's, what's the word? Unconditional love from
that's
your dad,
it.
you know. So they're not trying to get anything out of you. They just want the best for you. You know, I'm not saying trainers want to get stuff out of you, but there's obviously, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand, of course.
Yeah.
What I want to ask you is, obviously, never look past your opponent. The focus is May 22nd. But getting past Paul Cummings, what is the plan for Michael Hennessy Jr.? What is it more? Obviously, you're going to climb up the rankings in the British level. Do you want more 50-50 fights? You know, your division is heating up, especially at the moment you're ranked number 42. You're going to go higher and higher. Closer to you, you've got the likes of Jordan Dujon, Carl Fale, who's a great fighter as well. Are these the type of fights that you will want next?
Absolutely. You know, I'm down to fight anyone. I'm ready to fight. You know, I fought everyone in the amateurs. I'm game. You know, I'll fight anyone. That's no problem with me. I just leave the matchmaking down to my training team at the moment. You know, I know, and the matchmakers, I know they've got a plan for me. I believe we'll be having 1 or 2 more learning fights, 6 rounders, and then moving on to 8 rounds. But my plan is personally is to pick up every belt along the way, you know, because I'd love to win every belt, you know, domestically all the way through to world level one day, God willing. So, you know, I want to start at Southern area, work my way up to English, Irish, British, Commonwealth, European, and, you know, make sure I'm ready each time. That will tell me if I'm ready to step up each time by going through the levels, rather than what a lot of these guys are doing and skipping a lot of levels and going down the WBO European route and things like that to get a world ranking, and then jumping in a little bit too soon when they're not ready. So I'll be climbing the ladder slowly but surely, without a doubt.
It's a fresher breath of, what's the word? It's
breath of fresh air.
That's it. So to hear that, because basically I echo what you say. A lot of fighters don't go through that old traditional route of Southern area, English, British, Commonwealth, maybe like 1 or 2 WBC, IBF, whatever, international belts, and then European, and then climb the rankings. Even Carl Frock said that after the Josh Kelly fight. It's no disrespect to Josh, he jumped in too soon for that European title without even going for British level. So it's good to hear that from you, that you want to go through that route, because, you know, you're not, that's how you gain the experience, and it opens the path to get ready for world level, basically.
Without a doubt, it doesn't only do the fighter an injustice, but also the fans as well, because on the back of it, we miss out on some domestic dust-ups, you know, that, you know, back in the day were huge, and they're the fights that the fans want to see, especially over here. So I think it's bad for boxing when fighters try and do that and skip levels.
No, I echo that. And it's good. It will be good to see you, you know, eventually get your Southern area title shot, and then move on and progress.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about the top of the food chain of your division, in a sense of domestically. You know, over the weekend you had the return of the madman himself, Scott Fitzgerald. You got Kieran Conway, who's fighting this weekend.
Yeah, the French man. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but he's a very good fighter.
Sissoko,
that's the one.
Yeah.
You're Olympic bronze medalist, excellent fighter.
And what a card to be on as well. The Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders. You know, you got Jazar Dickens versus Kid Galahad on this one as well. Great card as well. Anthony Fowler, Ted Cheeseman, who just won the British title as well. I think JJ Metcalf might still be in that mix. I know he's 34, but he's got that experience. He's still he's still Commonwealth champion as well. So, you know, there's so many fighters there, and on top of that, maybe Josh Kelly might come in at super welterweight as well.
Yeah, for sure.
How much do you want to be in the mix with these guys eventually in the future?
Absolutely. You know, I want to be in all those big fights alongside those big names. You know, I've looked up to a lot of those fighters you mentioned, and you know how the saying goes, like, work until your idols become your rivals. So
that's it.
Of course, that would be like a target of mine one day, and a dream of mine one day, to be in the mix with those guys. But you know, I know my place at the moment. I'm obviously not that level at the moment. I'm gonna you know, focus on my journey. I'm not worried about what anyone else is doing. But of course, if the time came, and you know, in the future, I'd love to be in the mix with all those names.
100%, and we look forward to seeing you there as well. I want to ask, obviously, because I know right now with COVID it's difficult, but can you see? It's not 100. I don't want to like 100% answer that. You know, I don't want people to take our content what you're going to say. But can you see regular shows on terrestrial TV once the crowd comes back?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, nothing guaranteed yet, but I'm hoping to get out 4 or 5 times this year.
Amazing.
And hopefully for this May 22nd fight, there will be fans. There's nothing, as I said, there's nothing guaranteed yet, because we need to assess the COVID situation.
Of course.
You know, it can change at any moment. But fingers crossed, fans will be back, because I've really missed getting all my friends and family down there to support me. It makes such a huge difference when they're there, and it gives you a big lift. So fingers crossed.
100%. It's in Coventry, is that correct?
Birmingham, I believe, this one.
Birmingham.
Yeah, Sky Dome Arena.
Amazing. Michael, I asked all my guests this because I'm going to do a highlight reel of everyone's answers. I already know what your answer is going to be. AJ versus Fury, who wins and why?
You know what? It's obviously like an exceptional fight, you know, but I think AJ, he's a constant professional and he lives the life completely. He obviously has the power to take anyone out at any moment, you know. But I just believe that Tyson Fury is just, you know, if he comes in fit and well, there's no one on the planet that can beat him, you know. My dad spotted that talent from very young. He knows, like, he's an unbelievable talent, and it would take an alien to come down and beat him when he's on his game, you know. So I'd predict a Fury win, although, you know, don't count AJ out because he's got the power to upset anyone, and he's improving all the time as well.
Of course, of course. Speaking of Tyson Fury, you had Peter Fury before in your corner. What I want to know is, what's it like having someone that led Tyson to a world title against Klitschko, and then now has led Savannah Marshall to a world title, and hopefully could potentially lead his son Huey to a world title?
It's, you know, it's amazing to have Peter in the corner because, you know, you trust every word he says. You know, he knows what he's talking about. He's been there and done it. And, you know, Peter's like family to me. And I've been very lucky enough to, you know, whenever I've been in his company, for him to, you know, show me a few little things and do pad work with me. So, yeah, Peter's like family. And, you know, whatever he tells me, I'll listen to because, you know, he knows what he's talking about. He knows boxing, that's for sure.
100%.
And he's had 2 world champions and he will have a third, Huey Fury. Trust me, 100% believe he'll be a world champion one day. Very soon as well.
I believe that too. I personally believe, and there's no disrespect to, and as a boxing channel, I should sit on the fence, but I should be honest when a fight is over and call it. For me, he got robbed in Manchester against Joseph Parker. For me, it should have been Huey Fury versus AJ in Cardiff for the world title.
Me too. I was there at that fight, up close and personal, and I thought he put on an excellent performance, and at 23 as well, to do that with someone like Joseph Parker and have it taken away, it was disgusting, really, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, totally. I echo that, and I hope he gets another opportunity in the future. I can only see him getting that opportunity when his cousin retires, because I can't see cousins fighting each other.
Oh, of course not. Yeah, no, family don't fight, you know.
That's it.
Of course. But his time, it'll probably fall very good timing because he's 26 at the moment, so he's not even at his prime yet. You know?
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's like he's been around for a long time, and you think 26? Wow.
It's mad. And like his last performance against Marius Wack, in my opinion, was his best performance to date against a world level contender who, you know, has made a lot of top guys struggle. So things are looking bright for Huey for sure.
And we look forward to that. Michael, before I let you go, a message for the fans and what can they expect on May 22nd?
Everyone, please tune in May 22nd for an exceptional show, a great main event, and some real 50-50 fights on the undercard. And myself, hopefully putting on an exceptional performance for you all.
Any last message for Paul Cummings?
Listen, respect to Paul Cummings. You know, I respect these journeymen. You know, you can't talk down upon them because they get in there with anyone. So respect to them.
Brilliant. You're a gentleman, Michael. And I want to say thank you for taking the opportunity and the time to speak to me today. It's an absolute pleasure to speak to you, and I hope we can catch up soon.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for having me. We'll catch up soon for sure.
Take care. Stay safe.
Take care, mate. You too.